No, you can see only folders.
Now?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So I will stop the share and start it. Try sharing again. 1 minute. Wait. Now is it visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we were here, HR strategy and business productivity. So recruitment and selection process of human resource department is paramount in building a productive workforce. By the way, Shreyasha is working with Paramount Hospitals. I think we did not talk about that. So, okay, so she's taking care of the front office and she's doing a good job. We take feedbacks from the employers and they're very happy with her performance. Okay, so I just came across this word and it reminded me. Okay, so fine. Recruitment and selection process of your human resource department is paramount in building a productive workforce. This is what we've been discussing till now. Until and unless you invest in human resources, productivity is not possible. Okay. Developing a human resource strategy for recruiting and selecting the best employees affects your organization's bottom line. So what kind of strategy are you working on to recruit the best talent is also very important. Now, as we discussed in our earlier sessions, recruiting through the same means for all different positions will not help. Okay, like for example, if we're doing referencing for certain positions, the same strategy for hiring maybe a vice president or a general manager will not work. Okay, so you'll have to use job portals for that. Fine. So a perfect strategy for hiring the right candidate will obviously help in achieving the organization's bottom line. Okay. Maintaining a workforce where employees enjoy high levels of job satisfaction and job security translates into a workforce that helps achieve business goals. So we had a discussion earlier today. We discussed about how employees should be satisfied in their job and they should feel that the job is secure so that it translates into a workforce which will help the business achieve its goals. So job satisfaction and job security is must for an employee to perform well. Okay. According to HR experts, human capital or human resources is your most valuable resource. So no matter how many people keep coming and going, no matter how many people you change for the same role, if your strategy for treating the human resources is not correct, then it will not be enough. Okay, it will not meet your goals. So you have to treat your human resources right, give them the right kind of technology required, give them the right kind of work environment, the skills, the training and development. Only then it is going to be a valuable resource. Okay, otherwise, no matter how many people you change for the same role, it's not going to help. Okay, what are the trends that affect HR and business strategy? In a study conducted by consulting giant Towers Watson, business executives are paying close attention to a trend towards blending human resource strategy and business strategy. So, human resource heads and the business heads have to work really closely for a productive output. Okay, so if they work hand in hand, then only then the business goals can be achieved. So forget about the study. Okay, interaction among executive leadership. The real test of a relationship between human resources and overall business strategy is the quality of interaction between human resource executive and other company Other company executives is not companies outside your own company. It means within the company executives means high level executives of the company and human resource executives. So the level of interaction, the quality of interaction should be good enough, okay, so that the human resource also needs to come up with ideas, okay, which is of quality for the higher executives to listen to their plans. So it means that human resource has to keep upgrading its techniques, upgrading its strategies in order to be heard by the executives. Okay, we should not limit our responsibilities only to the transactional, paying salary, recruiting, okay, and doing the resignations and all that. So we have to keep upgrading ourselves, keep talking to the HRs from other companies, understand what are they doing to increase employee productivity, what new initiatives they are taking, what new technology they are using. So we have to keep upgrading ourselves, and then we have to have a quality discussion with the management. Okay. The way to improve the relation between HR and high level executive is by, bottom line, demonstrating the return on investment in human resource activities. So we have to convince them what is ROI. It is return on return on investment, which means like whatever investment I am putting in, okay, in learning and development or training of certain employee, the output will be double. Okay, so business understands only this language. Do you agree or not? Whatever cost is being put in a resource, only if you get an income or output which is more than the cost that is involved, only then they will agree to any of your decisions. Okay, so if you tell them that I suggest you to invest around 5,000 rupees for this employee on this training, then what is going to be the output? How are you going to get benefited out of that? Only then they will take initiative to invest in that. So you'll have to talk to business in a return on investment terminology. Okay. So how will you evaluate a successful human resource management plan? How will you evaluate whether it's going to be successful or not, whether it's good enough or not? So first, identifying your organization strategic goals and implementing steps to achieve them is an essential part of human resource management plan. So first you need to understand what is actually the company's goal. Okay, like for example, for a hospital industry, what is the main goal of the company? Shreyasha, what is the main goal of Paramount Hospital?
To provide proper management to the patient, like proper security to the patient party, and look after the patient, give them proper treatment and proper kind of treatment. You can say the treatment, proper treatment.
Yeah. So the patients need to be taken care of at all times.
Yes.
Right. So this is the main objective of the organization. Correct. So how will human resource help? How can we as human resource help?
We need to bring those people in front of them who can provide them the best treatment. The people with good human nature can actually provide the best treatment, and those who are a bit harsh, they will somehow will not provide that treatment which they actually need.
So what it means is, as an HR, how can we help in planning that, like Paramount should be treating their patients well. So Paramount as a business, what is its main objective? What is its main goal? To get a lot of patients to the hospital. Like Paramount should be the most preferred hospital in the city, or maybe in the Northeast region. Correct. And whoever the patients are coming, they have to be treated well, right?
Yes.
So what as an HR can we do to help Paramount management achieve this? We have to ensure that there are people who take care of the patients. Correct.
Yes.
That is the doctors, nurses, and the coordinators, etc. Right. And as support staff, people, like, we first of all, we need to ensure that the right people are there. Suppose there are a lot of
Yeah.
patients coming for cardio investigations and all that. We have to ensure that a cardio doctor is there, right? Then we'll have to ensure that there are proper beds, there is sanitization, there is, hygiene, right? So as an HR, we'll have to ensure that all these staff are available, okay? And we are putting in the correct staff with the correct skills.
Yeah,
Right?
with the correct skills.
Yeah, and on time. So when it is required, suppose I need a resource today and it is not available. So how will HR help in achieving the goal? We will not be able to.
Yeah.
Right, and ensuring, motivating whoever is there. So we'll have to go talk to them, counsel them, tell them that okay, these patient party had this problem, okay, so I think we need to work it out on this way. So from our end, we'll have to constantly back the business in terms of employees, giving them the right skill, giving them the right talent at the right time, okay, and motivating them, okay, understanding if they're having any problems or not. So if they do not have any problems, if they are not facing any challenges at work, if they're getting the right salary, then what will happen? They will take care of the patients properly. And what will happen? The hospital will start earning revenues and doing better in their job. So understood, all of you? Ladies, are you understanding what I'm trying to say? This is how we are going to align our plan along with the business plan in order to achieve their objectives. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So evaluating an HR management plan for success includes looking at recruitment policies, okay? Hiring processes, we'll have to check, as I told you, our recruitment policy and all are in line to the extent to which HR is part of the company's strategic plan and how effective HR leaders are at strengthening the employer-employee relationship. So we also have to check whether the number of staff required is present or not. So a department cannot run with only a doctor, right? It also needs a nurse, correct? It needs more than one nurse. So we have to ensure that the department is sufficiently manpowered.
Yes.
Okay, so this is how we can build our credibility. Creating a workforce. If you are creating a human resource management plan for a startup organization, or if the HR management plan addresses the needs of a growing workforce, examine the strategic direction of your recruitment and selection process. Okay, I'm just reading out, we've already discussed. Okay, this is all about how you can build your recruiting strategy. So how will you manage a workplace conflict? As an HR, how do you think we can manage a workforce conflict? Bhavna, can you give me your inputs on this? You understand a workplace conflict, ladies, all of you? Do you understand this term?
Yes. Does it mean conflict between the management and the employee, or
It could be
employee?
It could be between the management and employee. It could be employee to employee. It could be HR and employee. It could be anything. So whatever conflict is happening inside the workplace. Okay.
So we need to understand the story of from the both ends, then decide whoever is right. If both are neutral, then we have to take action for both the team, both the employees, or both the human people, two people. Otherwise, if one is innocent and the other one is not innocent, then we have to take action accordingly. But we have to listen to the stories of both the from both the sides.
Yes. So as an HR, it is very important for us to understand both the side stories. Okay, we need to listen carefully. And okay, Nirmala, your inputs.
Listen to them clearly, both of them, and decide what can we do.
Okay, so how will we decide? Like our decision will be influenced by what? How will we decide what is wrong or right? Because see, everybody won't agree to an HR. In all companies, you will find people who are going to continuously doubt your abilities as an HR. Okay, they will not be convinced that you are. Who are you to, you know? Because we are not judge, we are not attorneys who will say, okay, this is right and wrong, right? So what will be your decision making? From where will your decision get influenced?
Will
It
see
is
from HR policies.
Yes, so that is why we need to build our policies. Okay, so building HR policies is very, very important for us to come to a decision, okay, make the right decision, okay, and we need to say, no, this is what discipline we are going to follow in this office. And if you're going against this, then you will be charged for it, or you will be, you know, you will be succumb to some kind of a disciplinary action. Okay, you'll be exposed to some disciplinary action, so all that. So first our standards needs to be set. Okay, so first our standard of operating procedures needs to be set, and then we compare and see, okay, you are meeting this, you are not meeting this, therefore this is the action that is going to be taken. Okay, but being an HR, we have to ensure that we are very, very fair in taking any decision or actions. We might have our favorites, we might have our friends, we might have, you know, our relatives working there. Okay, but we as an HR have to ensure that we are very fair in taking our decisions. Okay, so workplace conflicts such as employee complaints about equity and fairness in the job, okay, being fairly treated or not, generalized malcontent among employees, and unresolved employee to employee issues creates a toxic work environment, right? So there you cannot avoid conflicts in a workplace. People come from different backgrounds, people come with different experiences, they have different kind of thought processes, so we can never think of a workplace which is totally free of any conflicts. Okay, so this kind of conflicts, what does it do? It creates a very toxic work environment, which spoils the work environment, right? So every HR management plan should have an employee relations component. Employee relations is an HR discipline that encompasses everything from performance management steps to work investigation. So if anything like that happens, then what is the process of investigating what happened? So that plan also needs to be set already in a HR policy handbook. Okay, so we need to set a process already to address such conflicts, to investigate workplace investigations, how we should do it, and what actions need to be taken. Like example I gave, you know, in one of my workplaces, people had come in an intoxicated condition. So without discussing anyone, I just had to ask them to leave. Right. So how did I take that decision? Because it was written there in the HR policy document. We had already made that. So I need not consult anyone for that. Okay, you just need to inform your senior, see, this is the action that I'm taking because these people have come in this situation, but the decision is final. Okay. So an effective plan must have a competent employee relations specialist who is skillful at assessing employee related matters and functioning as a dual advocate for the organization and its employees. So I told you, no, we are responsible for any kind of employee relation issues, and we have to be an advocate for both the sides. We have to have a fair decision making ability. Okay. Okay, so this is all about, I'll just quickly run through employee relations. We have, I think, 15 minutes now. Okay, so I will run you through the employee relations slide. So guys, can you tell me what do you understand by employee relations? Any vague idea?
In a simple word, it is a relationship between employee and employer.
Yes, correct, Nirmala. Very nice. I'm happy for your participation. So as she said, in simple words, it is a relation between the employee and the employer. Okay. And it is our sole duty to make sure that we have a very good relationship in order to ensure a good work environment. Okay. And employees feel good at work. They are being treated well. Okay. Can you see the screen?
Not yet.
Now?
Yes.
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 Okay, employee relations. So employee relation is the term that defines the relationship between employer and employees. So bang on bullseye, Nirmala. Okay, so employee relation focuses both on individual and collective relationship in the workplace, with an increasing emphasis on the relationship between managers and their team members. Okay, so the emphasis is more on the relationship between the superior and the juniors. Okay, so what kind of relationship we build with our juniors is very, very important. Okay, the term employee relation is also used to highlight the efforts a company or the HR department makes to manage that relationship. So employee relationship terminology itself came into existence to ensure that the HR department or the management takes initiatives to build a good relationship with the employees of the organization. Okay, so employee relations also comes under strategic HR. Okay, earlier there was nothing like that where it was told that HR or the managers have to go out and meet the employees, talk to them, and all that. So you would have known, right, how people used to work. They used to come, go to the desk, finish the work, and come. At the end of the month, you get your salary. So there is nothing like you used to have a good relation. So all those that concept was not there at all. Okay, now that HR is moving into strategic role, this concept has come into play. Okay, so these efforts are usually formalized in an employee relations policy or program. So a separate policy called an employee relations policy is also being set in a lot of companies, okay, to formalize the process or to ensure that something called employee relationship is built in an organization. Okay, examples, employee relation examples of different issues that may arise and which could be tackled accordingly. Okay, so if there is no good employee relationship, okay, in an organization, then what may happen? If there is no good relationship between the management and employees, then what may happen? Have excessive unplanned absence from work. Okay, so if you're not interacting with the employees, if you have no clue about what is happening, then what will happen? People won't want to come, they don't want to come to work. You'll have excessive unplanned absence from work. Okay, absenteeism is high. Okay, watch sexually explicit material via company internet. So a lot of people do this. Okay, they watch different kind of movies through office internet. I don't know whether you have witnessed this or not, but yeah, so if people are not attended to, then young guys, they do this. Okay, they go to the, because it is given, internet is free, so laptop is given, system is given, they go to the internet and watch the sites which is not allowed in the office. Okay, so all such things may also happen. Show little to no respect when speaking to their superior. So when you don't interact with your juniors, they will not feel valued and they will not show respect to you. Okay. and get into disputes with co-workers. So there might be some kind of disputes happening, okay, which the managers will not be aware of, okay, which will affect the work environment. Okay, and since you are not interacting with the people, they will take things casually. They might turn up late for interviews or not turn up at all. Okay, so a certain discipline, as I am telling you again and again, the entire work culture or the work environment gets hampered. Okay, you guys are tired? I can see few of you yawning, trying to control your yawn. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to finish. I'll try to make it short. Okay, these are few examples. I'm just saying, okay, which will happen if the employee relations is not maintained. High absenteeism, disputes in the workplace, gossip all the time. So a lot of productive, manpower time is wasted. Then violating safety rules. Okay, then work. Okay, so all that, a lot of workplace issues will start if the employee relations is not maintained properly. So these perceptions, whether or not accurate, have been found to reduce employees' trust. So if you don't have employee relations, what just happens? You lose their trust. There is no job satisfaction. Okay, intentions to remain with the organization reduces. So if your management is not interacting with you, then you do not want to associate with the company for long. And sense of obligation in role and extra role performance. So you might be interfering too much. People might be interfering too much on others' business. Fine. And employee relations best practice is honest communication. Get your team behind the vision. Okay, trust your people. These are the kind of best practices that you can do while trying to implement the employee relations concept. So have an honest communication with the team, be transparent with what is happening with the company. Okay, try to get them to understand what is the vision of the company. Then you show your trust with your people. Okay, and then you do recognition and appreciation for their work. So whatever work they've been doing, we need to show our appreciation for that, right? And invest in your people. Again, see if they need any kind of training or not, if you need to take them out. Okay, any kind of personal help they need, like rewarding them with cash or maybe some gifts during, if there is a newborn child in their family. Okay, if there is debt in the family, then try to help, give monetary help. So that all increases your relationship with your employees. And please avoid favoritism. Okay, from day one I've been telling you, no, there will be no friends for an HR, and we should have no favorites in the office. Okay, so there are probably a lot of examples for employee relations, and you can just go through all this in the internet on your own if you want. Okay, if you are outlined here, just refer to this and you can Google it, what kind of policies, because even if I tell you now, you will not remember until and unless you practice that. Okay, so just go and Google it. Whatever policies have been given here, you can refer to it in the later stage whenever you are free. Okay, so having employee relations, how important it is. So you guys have understood, or you guys are very tired to understand?
No, understood.
You understood. The importance of having an employee relation policy is also important. Which major MNCs, they have this policy. Small companies, they don't believe in it, but we as an HR have to strongly believe in it and have to encourage the management also to build a good employee relation. Okay, fine. You understood this concept? Even if you go and keep going and talking to people, no, you will see how well they start working. You will feel important. They will feel valued. When I used to walk, and stop and talk to people, when they see that, okay, she knows me by my name, the management knows me by my name, they feel so happy. They feel valued. Okay, this company knows me by my name, right? So it feels so nice. So those little efforts that we make as an HR will matter a lot. Okay, so we are not going to have wings, right, in our shoulders while being an HR. Are we going to walk with wings? Okay, we're going to walk with our 2 feet. Okay. Fine, guys. So I will end the session here. If you have any questions about today's session, you can ask so that I can clarify. I will give you your assignment. You want me to write it down in WhatsApp, or I will explain to you. I will send it to you in WhatsApp group also. Okay. So today is Friday, and for the rest of the 2 days, we don't have a session. So during these 2 days, Shreyasha, I don't know whether you'll be able to manage, but whenever you get time, just try to work on this. Refer to the earlier PPTs if necessary, guys, all of you. Okay, and you can take help. So the first assignment is what are the policies? Okay, this is a kind of a specific assignment that I'm giving to you. I will write it down and send it to you. What are the policies necessary according to you for a BPO industry? Okay, for a BPO industry, what are the HR policies you think that are necessary? And you can try and frame them. Refer to the policy PDF I sent you after the last session. Okay, just refer to that. And just in general, like you need not be very specific, but just an outline you can give me. Okay, at least I want you to understand like what is the importance of each policy and why certain industries they opt for this. It is important. Okay, so what are the policies necessary according to you for a BPO industry, and frame them. Another one is the salary structure. So for a person whose CTC is 4 lakhs per annum, I want you to make a salary structure for that person.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine, I will write it down and I'll send it. Okay, so all the best. Whatever you
Thank you.
understood till now, you can just pen it down. Fine, I'll see you on Monday then. Okay, bye. Have a nice
Okay.
weekend.
Same to
Thank
you.
you.
Same
To
to you.
you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.